case files. Crime Stoppers is a safe way to positively impact our community. And here's how it works.
Hi, I'm Cuyahoga County Sheriff Bob Reed. Crime Stoppers was designed to give concerned citizens a chance to catch criminals without risk. It works like this. When you call in your tip, you receive a code number. If your tip leads to an arrest, your code number is written on an envelope, and the envelope is filled with reward money in cash. When the suspect is arrested, you call Crime Stoppers and you get the pay date and location. You go to the location and that date, and you give them the number, and they give you the envelope and ask you to count the money. Once you count it, you're done. You never give your name, you never sign anything. No one ever knows who you are. It's that simple.
21-year-old Montel Chapman was a nice kid who was tired of being bullied and robbed in the Longwood neighborhood near where he lived. On July 29, 2009, after he was robbed for the second time in 24 hours, Montel made the decision to confront his robbers, a decision that cost him his life. Here's his story.
Monty was a pretty happy child, but he was very quiet. He was always there at him, but it was wrong. He was a very good athlete. Played football. He loved football. He loved sports. He played muni football for 6 years. He started off with the Garden Valley Express and finished up with Lonnie Redskins. And he has received awards. He was also very good at Taekwondo. He has lots of trophies and medals for that. Growing up, he's very funny. He likes to bake as well. Something a lot of people don't know, didn't know about him. But he still kind of like stayed to himself. He's maybe one or two people. Overall, he was a quiet guy. We're both pretty quiet. In high school, we kind of did the same thing, like stay to ourselves. Like I noticed, in his yearbook, he didn't participate in a lot of the senior events, and neither did I. I would say we're kind of loners, but for the most part, he didn't hang out. He didn't hang in groups. 9 times out of 10, he was by himself.
Unit for a male victim of a gunshot wound. Witness shows that the victim, Montel Chapman, he was going to the store at 40th and Community College early in the morning when he was approached and robbed of his personal property by 2 males. According to a friend of Chapman, Chapman came to his house and told him he had been out going to the store at 40th and Community College earlier in the morning, and he had been confronted by 2 males who robbed him of his cell phone. After talking to his friend, Chapman and his friend went back over East 39th and Longwood. The victim and his son, Longwood Avenue, then eastbound. The station probably lasted maybe a couple of minutes before the shots rang out. During the confrontation, we don't know who pulled the gun first, but we believe that the victim was able to get off several shots before Chapman was shot in the head.
If he did anything, which I don't know because I wasn't there, he was forced to. And to the point where he couldn't take it anymore. My son, I want everybody to know he was a good kid. He was not a bad kid. He wouldn't hurt anybody. He wouldn't hurt anybody. He's just a nice person that I think was a target because he was a nice person. On the way I found out, I was out shopping and my daughter called me from her job, and she told me that a little boy came up to her and was saying that your brother just got shot, and I just felt like everything in my body I just couldn't I just couldn't stand up, and I just cried. It was the worst thing I could ever hear. I couldn't believe it, but I didn't think anyone would lie about that. He had seen him getting robbed at the gas station right on the corner of 40th and Community College. And he said he saw the guy make him take his shoes off. And something within my heart told me that my child was in trouble. And I just left my basket, got into my car, and I rushed home. When I got home, Money stayed in the basement of the house. When I got home, I saw his jacket that he had on when I left. I saw it sitting on the chair. When I opened the basement door, the light was on. My whole body, like a spirit. If I catch it in time, whatever it is. So I went into the basement, and this eeriness was just all over me. I even looked under, I didn't see him. I looked under the bed. So I couldn't find him. I didn't see any evidence of anything happening in there. So I got in my car, and I drove around the neighborhood. I went over on 40th where we used to live. I just was going up and down the streets, up and down the street. I went up and down the street except the street that he was actually on. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I know he needs me, but I don't know where he is, you know. And by him not really hanging around with a lot of people, I don't have anybody to call, to ask, you know where money is. A friend of mine came over, and she couldn't hardly talk, and she was just shaking. She said, Money got shot. And I couldn't drive, so she took me over there. And when I got there, I just saw a bunch of police cars. And when I got out the car, the policeman, he just grabbed me. I don't know this guy. He just grabbed me and held me, I don't know if my son was still there or not. Maybe he didn't want me to see what had happened. I don't know. But I remember just screaming. And he told me my son had gotten shot.